1 year to the point of Brexit, as it were. Let's speak to Gavin Lee, our correspondent, who is in Antwerp as part of our special coverage today to mark that 1 year deadline, as it were. Good to see you, Gavin. Over to you.
Good morning. I mean, the reason we're in Antwerp, it's the second biggest port in Europe behind Rotterdam. But also the point is, when it comes to trade, when it comes to customs, all of these ports on the northern fringe of Europe that are dealing with the UK, I think it's fair to say there is concerns, worries that after decades of working in a certain way, of seeing free flow of goods, of cars to Britain, steel that comes through from China via Europe into Britain, or goods, everything from basic washing up liquid to fruit and vegetables. If you want something, it comes quickly from this side or it goes quickly to this side. And Zeebrugge, for example, one of the ports, Bruges-on-Sea nearby, 45% of trade goes to the UK. They are worried about, in fact, most of Belgium worried about being one of the biggest hit countries. 2% of GDP potentially being affected if trade slows down. Just to give you a sense of part of that, let me bring in Jef Hermans. You're part of the Antwerp Freight Forwarders Association and the forwarding company Portmate. So you're one of the men who get things to the UK quickly. And you can just probably hear one of the tugboats going behind us right now. Jef, tell me for you how you're feeling a year on. What are the issues ahead of, technically, Brexit happening a year away?
Well, the first thing is the awareness at the small and medium enterprises, because since 1993 they didn't do any formalities at all. It was free circulation of goods. 93 is a long time ago. And now they will have to be aware that they have to do customs formalities. But not only customs formalities, also, for example, when you talk about food, vegetables, fruits, etc., the food agency comes in. So you have to be aware that you have to declare goods exiting Europe, but also entering into the UK. So you have a two-time stop.
And when you talk about small companies, what you're saying is an awareness of what will be a bigger picture potentially. We don't know yet, because Boris Johnson talks about this being the best trade deal there has ever been, but it may need, for example, in Rotterdam, in Holland, they're bringing in customs officers, hundreds of them, because it's paperwork suddenly being needed. And you're saying a lot of people within the port, smaller companies, bigger companies, just aren't aware of that.
Yes, it is like that, but we're talking about paperwork, but in these days we are also talking about digital declarations, so it can go fast. But we need to agree upon the kind of formalities and also the exchange of declarations between the continent and UK.
And can that be done in time? I mean, one point you mentioned, I think it's been mentioned by a number of ports looking at digital analysis. Can trade be faster? But one of the issues, I think there's been a recent study to suggest that if lorry stops were 2 minutes longer than they are now, actually we're looking at 20 minutes of traffic being backed up on motorways potentially. So digital, is that a possible answer for trade customs?
That has to be the solution.
Yes.
But then also the customs authorization, the customs authorities have to be prepared for it, because now with the actual hardware software that they are using, they cannot cope with 30–40% more declarations. That's impossible.
Is there an upside that you see to Brexit? I mean, one thing that will change suddenly, you won't have this single borderless trade. If as Theresa May says, Britain will be out of the customs union, single market as well. But does that mean better competition with Dunkirk, with Zeebrugge, with Rotterdam, that Antwerp potentially can get more trade from elsewhere in dealing with the UK?
Well, I'm talking for the Flemish ports, because not only Antwerp, but certainly Zeebrugge has a big potential for getting all the traffic through Zeebrugge. They are known as a ferry port. Yeah. And the ferry transport is very, very important for the flow of goods between Europe and UK.
Jef, thank you for talking to us. And it is worth saying, although in the UK, we're talking about this technical year till Brexit happens, a lot of people, certainly within the ports, talking about how this extension, this transition period up until the end of 2020 is going to help try to improve that awareness.
All right, thank you so much. Stay with us here on The Briefing. We still have a lot more for you in the